Ever wondered how ancient civilizations, without modern technology, managed to build vast empires and control their neighbors? How did the first states emerge and exert their dominance? We often think of the Romans or the Egyptians, but today we're journeying back 4,000 years to the Iberian Peninsula to uncover the secrets of a society that might just rewrite our understanding of early state power. The Argar civilization. Imagine a time around 2200 BCE when a complex, centralized society arose in what is now southeastern Spain. This was Argar, a powerhouse of the Bronze Age. For centuries, archaeologists have been fascinated by them. They had fortified hilltop towns, specialized workshops, and a clear social hierarchy, evident from the lavish goods buried with their elite. They were, in essence, one of Western Europe's first states. But a huge question has always lingered. How far did their influence really stretch, and how did they control it? A groundbreaking new study, led by researchers from the Autonomous University of Barcelona and the Max Planck Institute, is finally giving us answers. And the key? It's not in giant monuments or written records. It's hidden in something much more common, something you might have in your own kitchen: pottery. That's right. Ceramic pots, bowls, and jars are the silent witnesses that are helping us map the true economic and political frontiers of the Argar state. This research, published in the prestigious Journal of Archaeological Method and Theory, is a masterclass in archaeological detective work. By analyzing the production and circulation of pottery, researchers can reconstruct the intricate web of interactions between the powerful Argaric state and its less centralized neighbors, like the communities in La Mancha and Valencia. So, what makes this pottery so special? The researchers used a technique called petrographic analysis. Think of it like a geological fingerprint for ceramics. By examining thin slices of a pottery shard under a microscope, they can identify the specific minerals and rock fragments in the clay. This tells them exactly where the clay was sourced. Was this pot made locally using clay from a nearby riverbed? Or was it imported from a specialized Argaric production center dozens or even hundreds of kilometers away? This is where the story gets really interesting. The study focused on the borderlands, the buffer zones between the core Argaric territory and the surrounding communities. What they discovered was a complex and surprisingly nuanced picture of power and exchange. It wasn't just a simple case of a big empire bullying its smaller neighbors. In some areas, the researchers found a massive influx of standardized, mass-produced Argaric pottery. These weren't fancy, decorative items. They were everyday cooking pots and storage jars. This suggests a deep economic integration. The local communities weren't just trading for luxury goods. They were relying on the Argaric state for their basic household needs. This level of dependency is a powerful tool of control. If your community's ability to cook and store food depends on a neighboring power, you're much less likely to cause trouble. It's a subtle but incredibly effective form of economic dominance. But in other areas, the picture was different. Here, the local communities continued to produce their own traditional pottery, with very little Argaric ware present. However, they would occasionally adopt specific Argaric forms or styles, but make them using their own local clays. This suggests a different kind of relationship. These groups were clearly aware of Argar, perhaps even admiring their technology or culture, but they maintained their independence. They were selectively borrowing ideas, not being economically swamped. This paints a picture of a political frontier that was constantly being negotiated. It was a zone of cultural exchange, and maybe even resistance. This is what makes the study so revolutionary. It shows that the border of the Argar state wasn't a single, hard line on a map. It was a dynamic, shifting mosaic of different relationships. In some places, it was a hard economic boundary, where Argaric control was nearly absolute. In others, it was a soft, permeable cultural frontier. They exerted power not just through military might, which was surely a factor, but through a sophisticated strategy of economic control, political alliances, and cultural influence. Think about what this means. The El Argaric state 4,000 years ago was managing a complex geopolitical landscape. They were using economic supply chains as a tool of statecraft. They were projecting their power and culture in ways that were tailored to the specific communities they were dealing with. This is a level of social and political complexity that we are only now beginning to fully appreciate. The study helps us understand the mechanisms of early state formation. It wasn't always about conquest and subjugation in the way we might imagine. It was often about creating systems of dependency. By controlling the production and distribution of essential goods, like pottery, the El Argar elite could bind other communities to them, creating a network of economic tributaries that fueled their own power and wealth. This also highlights the incredible value of what might seem like humble artifacts. Every broken piece of pottery tells a story of trade, of technology, of culture, and of power. By listening to these stories, archaeologists are able to reconstruct the lives and aeosieties of people who left no written records. They are giving a voice to the voiceless and revealing the hidden dynamics that shaped human history. The story of El Argar is a powerful reminder that the past is not a simple tale of kings and battles. It's a complex tapestry woven from the everyday actions of millions of people. And sometimes, the most profound secrets are hidden in the most ordinary of objects. The next time you see a piece of ancient pottery in a museum, remember that it's more than just an old pot. It's a data point, a piece of a puzzle, and a window into a lost world of power, politics, and the enduring human story of civilization.